Battle Through the Heavens, Grand World. Chapter 94 Surround. The transportation array in Ruifeng City is located in a sparsely populated area near the north gate of the city. That transportation array is one of the lower-level teleportation formations between the two regions. After putting in the Monarch Crystal, as long as someone stepped into it, they would be teleported. There's no way to control where you are going. Little brother, when you enter the transportation array, you must preserve enough strength. It's also good to deal with unknown dangers. On the way to the north of the city, Lien Yuntian told Xiao Yan in detail. I know. Xiao Yan nodded with a solemn expression. The Lei clan had set up their defenses at the transportation array. If it was just a few ordinary monarch spirit warriors, with his own strength and Lien Yuntian's help, if it was an emperor, it would be somewhat dangerous, but it wasn't as if there was no other way. However, if an expert above the emperor level were to wait by the transportation array, the two of them would be like meat buns and dogs that would never return. Lien Yuntian had just advanced to the emperor realm. If he used the heavenly monarch fire-burning body with all his strength, it should be no problem for him to fight a monarch spirit-level warrior. However, for a monarch emperor warrior, even if he used the Buddha Fury Fire Lotus, Xiao Yan wouldn't have the confidence to defeat him. The northern part of Ruifeng City was where the teleportation formation was located. There were already 3 people from the Lei clan who had followed Lei Hu's orders and surrounded the city. The 3 people from the city guards who were guarding the city were chased away as well. They had openly occupied the city, not allowing anyone to teleport away. Elder Lei Hu is really considerate. In my opinion, how could that Xiao Yan escape from the city? He will definitely come here. He should have more people stationed here. What if Xiao Yan comes? Can the 3 of us stop him? A short and stout man from the Lei clan said with a worried expression. His strength was only at the 8 sovereign masters' realm. When he thought of the guy who had 3,000 lightning monarch flames, he couldn't help but tremble in fear. Tisk, Sea of Lightning. When did you become so timid? We are from the Lei clan. We are the strongest. I heard that the abandoned son of the family who was searched by the elders was only a 3rd Dao sovereign master. That Xiao Yan should only be a 5th or 6th Dao sovereign master, even if he had 3,000 lightning monarch flames. If that Xiao Yan came, I will deal with him within 5 rounds. A wild and unruly youth who stood in front of the 2 men heard this. He looked at the short and fat youth with disdain and said with a cold smile. When the other lean youth heard this, he immediately flattered, that's right, big brother Lei Yan. But we are the top 20 geniuses of our generation. With your strength of 4 monarch spirit, defeating that Xiao Yan will be a piece of cake. The young man named Lei Yan also enjoyed the news. He smiled complacently and said, that's of course. Actually, the main reason why we sent such an expert is to search for him. If we were to fight him face to face, any one of us would be able to defeat him. Of course, if we count the 3,000 lightning monarch flames, we are the only ones who can defeat him. Before he finished speaking, 2 people suddenly rushed out from the alley not far away. They easily rushed out of the crowd and rushed towards the direction of the transportation array. It's Xiao Yan. Hai was shocked when he saw who it was. This guy really came. Ha ha. There is a path to heaven, but you won't take it. You have barged into hell without a door. Lei Yan was overjoyed when he saw this. He stared at Xiao Yan, ignoring the middle-aged man beside him. After that, he shouted loudly. The origin monarch key in his body surged out wildly, gathering in his right fist. Then, he threw a fierce punch at the charging Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan and Lei Yan, who had rushed out of the alley, rushed out of the crowd. When they saw that there was only 1 monarch spirit and 2 sovereign masters beside the transportation array, they were overjoyed. Our luck is pretty good. There are only 3 small fishes. I have a bad feeling about this. I think the experts of Lei clan will arrive soon. Lien Yuntian looked at Lei Yan who was rushing over and whispered to Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan nodded. For some reason, the pressure in his heart was getting heavier and heavier. Swoosh. Looking at Lei Yan who was rushing towards him, Xiao Yan let out a cold snort. He moved his body and easily dodged the punch from Lei Yan. He instantly unleashed the heavenly monarch fire-burning body and struck Lei Yan's neck with his crimson gold flame. Woo! Lei Yan felt a sharp pain coming from the back of his neck. It was as if all the strength in his body had been drained away. He fell to the ground and fainted. Xiao Yan, who had knocked down Lei Yan, didn't even look at the former. He and Lien Yuntian once again rushed towards the dumbfounded Hai Hai and Lei Yan. Seeing that Lei Yan's all-out attack didn't stop Xiao Yan, the two of them instantly felt dizzy. One strike had knocked down the genius of Lei clan, Lei Yan. How could this Xiao Yan be a 5 or 6 Dao sovereign master? Please, Lien Lao. When they arrived in front of the transportation array, they glanced at it indifferently. Due to the shock, the two men from the Sea of Lightning were trembling. Xiao Yan said to Lien Yuntian, then quickly entered the transportation array. He took out a monarch crystal from his storage ring and started injecting energy into the transportation array. Lien Yuntian nodded his head, and his body flashed. When he reappeared, both Hai Hai and Lei Hai lost their senses and fell to the ground. Looking at the surrounding crowd, Lien Yuntian's ominous feeling became stronger and stronger. After putting the required monarch crystals into the energy groove, Xiao Yan saw that the monarch crystal had begun to store energy in the transportation array. He was extremely anxious. Without realizing it, his head was already covered in sweat. Son of a bitch. Just as the energy reserve was about to be completed, a furious roar that shook the heavens suddenly erupted from afar. Before the aftermath of the roar had even landed, a yellow-robed man wearing a yellow robe. The bald old man with a goatee had already rushed over from afar. The impact brought about by it sent the surrounding people flying. At the same time that the old man charged over, he waved his sleeve. A ray of blue light had already pierced through the space. Before Lien Yuntian could react, it had already pierced towards Xiao Yan, who was in the transportation array. Sensing the shocking power contained within the blue light, Xiao Yan's facial expression changed. He had no choice but to move his body and leave the transportation array. The blue light brushed past Xiao Yan's sleeve and struck the city wall in the distance. A loud sound was heard and the city wall collapsed instantly. As soon as Xiao Yan left the transportation array, another ray of light rushed towards him. Helpless, Xiao Yan could only dodge again. After dodging 3 rays of light, Xiao Yan was already a few meters away from the transportation array. He, I almost let you run away. Lei Shan stopped not far away from Xiao Yan. He glanced at Lien Yuntian, then turned his eyes to Xiao Yan. When he saw the latter's ashen face, he couldn't help but laugh out loud. Be careful, this old man's strength should be at the monarch emperor. Lien Yuntian's facial expression changed. He gritted his teeth and shouted at Xiao Yan who was not far away. Monarch emperor. He really came. When Xiao Yan heard this, his mouth was filled with bitterness. It wouldn't be easy for him to leave now. What do you mean by, should? My strength is equal to 3 monarch emperor warriors. Lei Shan heard Lien Yuntian's words and laughed out loud. While he was speaking, another person rushed over from behind. When he saw who the person was, Xiao Yan once again let out a helpless moan in his heart. Lei Hu, you are a little slow. If I am a little late, I will let this kid escape. He looked at the skinny old man next to him. Lei Shan said coolly, his voice filled with suppressed anger. All right. When the time comes, the main credit will be you. Lei Hu looked at Xiao Yan with a gloomy face and said in a deep voice. Haha, that's more like it. Lei Shan smiled proudly when he saw that he had achieved his goal. All right, let's do it. It seems like the guy next to us is his accomplice. I'll deal with him, you go and catch Xiao Yan. Lei Hu glanced at the surrounding people who had retreated due to fear and spoke coldly. When Lei Shan heard this, his goatee trembled. The corners of his eyes were full of smiles. He slowly looked at Xiao Yan with a cold look in his eyes. Little brother, quickly go in. I will stop the two of them even if I have to risk my life. Lien Yuntian pursed his lips and said in a deep voice. Xiao Yan felt warm in his heart when he heard this, but he still smiled helplessly and shook his head with a determined expression. Sacrificing Lien Yuntian's life in exchange for his freedom. Even though Xiao Yan was decisive in killing and had experienced countless things in the lower realm, he was not as cruel and ruthless as Lien Yuntian. Hee, can you stop it? Lei Shan smiled coldly and suddenly rushed towards Xiao Yan. Chapter end. Hi guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.